Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. I'm in my house. Andrew Lee is in his house, and we're about to be in your house because today we're reviewing the first In Your House from WWEF. Go fuck your mother. How you doing, Andrew Lee, bro?
Go fuck your mother. I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. We gotta talk about our favorite company in the whole world. The company doing so well that Warner Brothers. The problem is Warner Brothers can't decide how many billions they want to give Tony Khan. They're debating whether it's 15 or 20 billion. That's what they're debating, trying to get the extra 5 billion because he deserves it so much for all the fucking all the bangers that Will Ospreay has.
All the
AEW, we
murders,
gotta talk about
all the attempted murders.
all the attempted murders. We gotta talk about AEW. Um, Another week where the news media is saying the TV deal is any second now, and then no fucking update. Meanwhile, in January, WWE announced that they were going to be on fucking Netflix in a year, and no one even knew a hint of that. None of these fucking wrestling reporters knew about that. And also a year ago, the CW announces NXT will be here in a year, and the same thing with USA and SmackDown. Again, no one knows anything. But apparently, Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp, they're sitting in the negotiations with Tony. Yeah, so apparently everyone's in the meeting room with Tony Khan and Warner Brothers. What's your take on why the TV deal has not been announced yet? By the way, we're recording this on Tuesday the 10th. Happy 9/11, everyone. So if they have a
Yeah,
TV deal by Thursday, Friday, excuse us. But
yeah.
right now they
And
don't.
you know what? The TV deal is actually set to expire in December, at the end of this year. At the end of this year, December
Yeah,
31st, 2024. So that's only like a
three
quarter
and a
away.
half months right now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's you're right. Like the reason why like WWE would they'll announce their TV deals like a year ahead of time, but these guys are waiting till like less than 3 months or so. And I think the reason, if you're asking me why I think so, it's because I don't think the television networks are offering AEW the money that they want. That's what I think. What
Well,
do
yeah,
you
the
think?
money Tony Khan thinks he deserves. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, the money Tony Khan thinks he deserves. This isn't a participation trophy, Tony. This is you got to earn that money. You know.
Um, so I sent you the report yesterday. And this guy is like a right wing guy, and right away, if someone's right wing, they're not telling the truth according to wrestling reporters. But his report seemed very honest that Warner Brothers wanted more ownership stake. Tony would get less money, and there was no other offers from any other network. And I kind of believe that. If a year ago Warner Brothers came to them and said, "We want to put you on Max, we want to put you on we want to keep you on TBS, TNT, and we want to give you more money," why wouldn't Tony Khan was be like basically let's put pen to paper right now, like a year ago, right? Let's do it. So we're ready for 2025, 2026, whatever. The fact that like it hasn't been put pen to paper, but he keeps talking about it, leads me to think that that Warner Brothers is like, we're gonna give you less money because nothing that AEW is doing is suggesting there's gonna be any growth. It just suggests that there's gonna be shrinkage. Nothing they do. I mean, dude, did you see the ratings for fucking Collision?
Yeah, but they and you know what? There's a reason why it's so low, but it's still not an excuse. You know,
Yeah, there's
if
it's
your
SmackDown.
show is because you know why? Here's the thing: if your show is worth watching, people will still watch it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I don't like, dude. I don't like the fact that whenever ratings are down, like every week, there's an excuse. Like when are you gonna stop having an excuse? When are you gonna stop blaming the Olympics? When are you
the
gonna
U.S.
stop
Open,
blaming the U.S. Open, the election? There's always something. There's
dude.
always something.
They're gonna blame the debate. If something controversial happens tonight at the debate, they're gonna blame the debate tomorrow if the ratings are down.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? Like, even if those things do happen, like there are, because there's always gonna be things happening. If your show is like must see TV, people are gonna tune in. That's just how it is. And
Yeah.
you gotta, like if you guys want to keep your head in the fucking sand like an ostrich, that's fine with me. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's not hurting me because I'm not fucking watching it right now anyway. So
Well,
it's like whatever. You know.
but dude, like I'll give you for example. Look at the ticket sales for Grand Slam. Now, I think Wednesday he's going to announce Ricochet versus Will Ospreay at Grand Slam, which I do think will move at least like 500 tickets, right? But the thing about it is that like year by year, it's getting less and less. It's like I think the first year, can you look that up? I think the first year was like 20, 30,000 people, and now this year is like fucking 3,000 people. And
For
it's
what?
like, how do you look at that and think you deserve more money? And also, how do you look at that as a reporter or as a fucking fan of wrestling and think like that's showing forward momentum? How? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Well, I think he's the way I think he's looking at it is like because he thinks so. Well, look how long we've been around that it's okay, but that's just not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. He's like looking for a participation trophy. That's kind of like
Yeah.
what it is, And it's like it's not what you think you deserve. It's what you earn. It's really
Yeah.
what it is. It's kind of like how like whenever they give like, well, he's been around for a long time, so he deserves the world title. No, that's not how it works. All right, you've got to earn it. You got to earn that title. Just because you've been around forever doesn't mean you deserve to get the title. Like I used to hate those arguments. It's like not everybody wants to get the world title. Not everyone's gonna get it. Everybody wants a lot of TV deal money. Not everyone's gonna get it. You don't think Al Snow wants it for his OVW?
Yeah.
OVW has been around
And,
forever.
and,
They ain't gonna get
and
it.
like you said, participation trophy. Yeah, by that logic, fucking TNA should be on CBS and getting $9 billion a year because like, well,
Yeah,
we've been in business twice as long as WCW. You know, we believe
exactly.
in Joe Henry. Don't you believe in Joe Henry? That's what
I
they should be
believe in
saying.
Joe Honey. They're doing all right though, by the way. They're doing all right, those guys.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they're doing all right.
but no, Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp aren't crying that they should get like triple the money from fucking Warner Brothers. Um, the other thing about AEW, shit, I wanted to say something. Now, oh man, I forgot. What the hell? God, I hate. This is why people write things down.
Yeah, you gotta write things down, brother.
Hebrew. Well, let's talk about this. There's a new rumor going around that Tony Khan has gotten a new show, and this is unconfirmed, on
Mm-hmm.
Fox Sports One, an hour-long show called Shockwave. Now,
Shockwave.
do I think that's true? Probably, because no one's watching Fox Sports One. Do I take that as a win? Not really, because no one's gonna watch this fucking show. And also, the one thing Tony Khan's booking does not need are more shows.
Yeah, I read that rumor too. I think because they registered the name Shockwave. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure it is for a new TV show. Do I think it's gonna be on Fox? I don't know. That part I don't 100% believe, but I guess we'll see when it happens, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh, I remember what I wanted to say. So the rumor going around, the other rumor, I think it's been confirmed by people. I don't know. Tony Khan's fucking boys like Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp, that Swerve has signed a huge contract with a huge raise. And I remember all the wrestling pundits being well deserved, well deserved. Here's the deal. I like Swerve. I'm sure if I got to know him, I think he was a great guy. On what metric are you basing that this guy deserves a raise? Since he's been pushed, the ratings have gone down. The attendance has gone down. Everything has gone down. Like, it's just like, I understand Tony Khan has a ton of money just to throw down the toilet, but what metric does this guy deserve a raise? I mean,
I'm
what,
happy for
based on the fact he doesn't sell anything?
dude. I'm happy for him. Get that fucking money. Get that
No, but
money.
I'm just saying, like these business deals are like, what are you doing? Like, you don't need to give this guy a raise. And I'll say that if Swerve went to WWE, Swerve's like, all right, you're not gonna give me a raise. I want to go to WWE. I don't think it would mean a difference to AEW or WWE for that matter.
Yeah, but like, okay, and I hear what you're saying, but I'm personally okay with it because I'm like, yeah, you know what? This guy's a fucking idiot. Like,
I mean, let everyone get their money. Yeah,
yeah,
let
let
everyone
everybody
take his
get their
fucking
money.
inheritance.
Exactly. Yeah, let everybody get their fucking money.
I, I'm
100%.
wondering, like, I wonder if I was like Jericho, I would assemble a meeting and like, let's see if we could just take his entire inheritance, like, just keep, like, you know what I mean, fucking Will Ospreay. I had to do the banger, bro. Could I get 3 more million this year? No, yeah, yeah, sure,
Well,
sure, sure.
You know about that supposed rumor, right?
But
About the supposed like meeting they had with the talent, with Cody Rhodes had.
and when he was there,
Yeah, when Cody
oh,
Rhodes was like, there's a
yeah, I think you told me
rumor.
about this meeting before.
Yeah, there's a supposed rumor that like when the company first started, like Cody asked to have just a meeting with just the talent. Like no Tony Khan, no office people allowed, just talent. And they were like, we found the money mark, guys. like like we
Oh,
found it.
I
Like
totally believe that. I
don't
totally
fuck
buy
it
that.
up. Like nobody fuck it up. And I think like, dude, if we found I don't want to be a dick, but if we found a comedy club owner who was just like oblivious and just willing, we knew also he had a shitload of money, right? You're telling me you wouldn't be like to every comic that like you're cool with, like, dude, we got this. Like, just get as much money as you can, but don't fuck it up either. Like, I think we would all be like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I hope they take all his money. He doesn't deserve it.
He has so much money. He ain't gonna
I
lose
know,
money.
but the way that I feel like these wrestlers could con their way of taking all his money. Like I feel like even like Evil Uno could like squeeze a raise out of him,
Yeah,
like a
and
significant raise.
Evil Uno should get a raise. I
Like
actually feel like he should get a raise.
he's like
Yeah.
Shad Khan's gonna get a call in a year from Tony. Oh, Dad, I'm all out of money. What do you mean you're all out of money? You had $2 billion. Oh, yeah, but Evil Uno needs $1 billion. Who? Evil Uno, he needs $1 billion. You know how much he does for me in the office?
The cons have so much money.
Yeah.
The fact that like they could form like this is how much money he has. They could make another AEW and they would still not be dying for money. Like they could
That's a
have a
great idea. I'm gonna
whole
do it.
other
I'm gonna
talent.
do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
do it.
Can't you leave?
I dare him to do it. I dare him to do it. In a
I'm
way, he
gonna do
kind
it
of
right now.
has Ring of Honor, dude. He's paying for two companies right now.
Hello, Roman Reigns. Would you like $4 billion a year? You're my tribal chief.
Yo, you know what he should do?
I can hug you.
He should sign Bobby Lashley and MVP, and they should start their own like black wrestling company. Like they should
That's a
totally
great
do that
idea.
with Tony Khan's money. Tony Khan's
That's a great
money.
idea.
Like, oh, unlike
I could see
unlike
if he ever did.
WWF, unlike WWE, that's a bunch of racists. I let the black people have their own promotion. And they say it like that. like,
I could see Tony Khan like if Roman Reigns signed over, like when Roman Reigns come to press conference, Tony Khan standing there doing the one for him, like, oh, you're
oh,
my tribal,
absolutely,
you're
100%.
my
Yeah,
tribal chief.
using his big boy voice.
My tribal chief. I salute you. All right, so let's get into business.
In
We're talking in your house, the first in your house. Now, Andrew, I don't know what you thought about this show. I thought it was a huge improvement on WrestleMania. I also think minute for minute, it was the best WWF pay per view in a long time. What do you think?
You know what? This might be the first good pay per view of 1995.
Yes, I agree. I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised, and I think the secret to how good, the reason why the show is so good, is less than 2 hours. Vince did not have the roster for a 3 hour pay per view. He had a
Mhm.
roster for a 2 hour pay per view, and there's no fat on this bone except for Mabel.
That's a very good point. Yeah, there's not a lot of fat on this. It's just like quick in and out, and it's you're right. This is actually an it never overstays its welcome. It is this is how pay-per-view should be, I think, even now, in my opinion.
Yes, yes.
Um,
And I'll say you the other thing, the production. So I kind of feel like the production value was all over the place. They must have had a fucking meeting where Vince shit on everyone's head because the production value on this is top notch. And also, this is the first pay per view with a video package to open. They've not done that yet. Like these, like tonight we will have blah 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 blah, and that continues on to this day. These video packages, obviously now they're more, but this was the first one, and I'm like, all right. And Todd Pennigal didn't annoy me as much as he usually does. I thought this was a big improvement.
so let's get right into it. Start with the metadata here. In Your House 1 takes place May 14th, 1995. In Syracuse, New York, 7,000 people are in attendance, Ray. pay-per-view buys, 332,000 pay-per-view buys. If you want to know a comparison, WrestleMania 11, which happened in April, just like a month earlier, had a 340,000. So the pay-per-view buys is not really that much of a drop. It's about like, same pay-per-view buys. Like that's pretty good. The attendance was half of WrestleMania, but it's WrestleMania. What are you gonna do, right? But so not bad. This is a good idea by Vince McMahon. You could still sell pretty much the same amount of pay-per-views with a lower quality.
Lower price. I think this was only $20 back then, and the other shows were 30.
Mm-hmm. So now, why did they create these in your houses? Probably what you're wondering. So I looked this up. They say in a response to a move by WCW to increase their annual pay-per-view events, the WWF decided we're going to create these in your house series, which will be monthly pay-per-views that will be held between the 5 main pay-per-views they had, which would be WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, King of the Ring, and Survivor Series. So they wanted to put these little in your house pay-per-views in between them at a lower cost. The big 5 cost about $30, while in your house cost $15. So it's half the amount, which is probably why the show was under 2 hours, right? Because like the main pay-per-views were about 3 hours, so you want to keep it around 3 hours, 3 hours and a half probably. So you want to keep like half the amount if you're charging half the price, right?
Yeah, totally.
In my honest opinion, this is a great idea. I think actually,
it's a good idea. I think it's going to help our podcast too, because there would be times where we would go like a month without talking WWE, and WCW was just overloading the market with pay-per-views that weren't good. And I think it was time for Vince to get that money because WCW was adding pay-per-views, just having shows to have shows. And, get that money. Don't let them, you're leaving all like, remember there's like remember like in 93, there was like 3 months with nothing from WWE. And like, they're getting all the wrestling fans money. You're not, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I number one, like I do understand like, Vince McMahon originally wanting only like 4 or 5 pay-per-views because it keeps them special when there's less of them. I totally get that, right? But now, like the fact that WCW is offering more, it's like, yeah, you got to compete with them, so you got to do this, So I think this was a great idea. Like I said, I understand why he kept it the way it was in the beginning, but times are changing, and now this is like an industry standard, right? Where every month you got to have a pay-per-view. I think even AEW originally when AEW started, wasn't it originally like we were only going to have like 4 pay-per-views a year or something like that?
Yeah, but I think unless they get on I don't think they should go to every month unless they get on a streaming service. $50 a month is a lot of fucking money.
Don't they have how many pay-per-views does AEW have right now? Because it's a lot.
They have a lot this year. There's 3 more, and there's one beginning of October, one in the middle of November, and then one at the end of December. So there's 3 more this year.
They have 8 pay-per-views a month. I mean, a year. Sorry, a year. So that's close to one. That's like a little less than that's less than once a month, but that's still a decent amount. That's a lot. It's still a good amount. I think maybe 8 is good. Actually, that's not a bad number.
I just think $50. Listen, I don't pay for them. I go places and watch them, but like for the average fucking loser, to spend $50 a month on wrestling is a lot. So
it is.
No, this is also good for the podcast because I do kind of feel like our numbers went down when it was like 4 months where we're just talking about 4 weeks. We're just talking about WCW where we're like, I mean, I enjoy the episodes, but we're debating Buddy Landell versus Ron Simmons, and like people want to hear about Jake the Snake and fucking Hulk Hogan,
Buddy Landell. Oh man. Anyways. He's a good wrestler, by the way. Oh, man. But as you mentioned, going back to this pay-per-view, as you mentioned, it does start with a great intro that goes over the card. They used to do this, by the way. They used to do this. But
they still do video packages at the start.
Yeah, they used to do it a long time ago. I'm saying even before In Your House. And they stopped. You're right. There's a point where they stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch the beginning, they did it a little bit, and then they stopped for some reason. Yeah. And I'm glad they went back to it because you're right. It's good.
It makes it feel like an important show.
Exactly. Yeah. And it kind of lets you know what you're getting yourself into. But you know what else the intro told me that I didn't know about? They said they're giving away a house in Orlando, Florida. And I was like, what the fuck? They're giving away a house. How the fuck did they get this house, dude?
They bought it. Vince made him go buy it. Vince said, "I want to give away a house. Go buy it." So I
That's
think Gerald Briscoe
crazy.
found the house and bought it with cash.
That's how affordable houses were back then, huh?
I think Vince would have just bought the house no matter what. It doesn't matter if it was affordable. He's the one to
Uh,
buy a house. He,
yes.
he,
All
he
right.
had enough money to buy a house. Even if the house was $1 million, he probably would have bought it.
Yeah. Speaking of Vince, it's Junior on commentary with Doc Hendricks, who used to be Michael P.S. Hayes in WCW, with a haircut, and he's in a suit instead of showing his hairy chest. And
And he's
they've
better
got
with it.
enough table as well, right?
And he's better with it.
Yeah, I used to be a fan of Doc Hendricks because I actually saw Doc Hendricks before Michael Hayes. You know that?
Oh,
How do you
really? Yeah,
feel about
yeah. I didn't really see a lot of Michael Hayes, and I saw Doc Hendricks. He's pretty good. He does pretty good on the commentary.
Yeah, you like Doc Hendricks, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like him in small doses. I don't know how I'll feel by the end of this, but yeah.
Hmm. He did not like Doc Hendricks, right? Michael Hayes.
No,
He hated Doc Hendricks, right?
no. He wanted to have his hair out. I mean, I'm a free bird, man. Go fuck you.
Yeah.
Do.
All right, let's get to our first match. This is going to be an exciting one. We got making his pay-per-view debut, I think, Hakushi with Sinja, who is actually a Kiyosato from the Orient Express. You remember this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Um, versus Bret the Hitman Hart. We get Todd Pettengill, who's with Bret before this match begins, and he goes, Bret, you got two matches tonight. You know, you got Hakushi and then you got the King. And he says, and Bret's like, yeah. And I don't care that Hakushi's undefeated by this point, because he says, it doesn't matter if he's undefeated, I'm still the best. And he dedicates this show to his mom. And he says, Mom, for Mother's Day, I'm gonna beat Jerry Lawler for you. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, what a sweetheart. When this match begins, Hakushi's doing all these moves, and Bret Hart's kind of amused. He's just like smirking at all these like flips and shit. And he's just like, all right, I get it, you can flip. And then Hakushi starts doing these moves, and Hakushi actually did the first Bronco Buster. And X Pac has admitted that he took his Bronco Buster from Hakushi because Hakushi
Oh,
left.
awesome.
Yeah, he said
That's
like
fucking great.
he was like Hakushi left, so I can use it, But he's the one who added all the extra theatrics, where he's humping your face, Bret's in trouble with Shinja, because Shinja starts like putting his licks in when the ref's not looking, and he distracts the referee, which has Hakushi like choke him and stuff. And then, but Bret fights back. He does his 5 moves of doom, and then, but Shinja trips up Bret. So Bret gets mad at Shinja because he's like, all right, I had enough of you. So he starts beating him up. Bret vertical suplexes Hakushi over the top rope, and they both fall to the floor. I remember you seeing these on replays. This is a crazy spot back then,
Mm-hmm.
And then Bret eats an Asai moonsault from Hakushi. And when Hakushi does that Asai moonsault on the outside, we get a very small Hakushi chant. Did you hear that Hakushi chant?
Yeah, very small. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
heard it. Yeah.
yeah. It was like this guy was getting over from this match. Bret, however, victory rolls Hakushi for the win. And then when he's leaving the ring, however, as he jumps off the apron, he hurts his ankle to end the match. This was a fantastic match. I remember reading about this in Bret Hart's book and how he said before this match, people still were on the fence about Hakushi. And he did this match that really helped people turn their tide on Hakushi, which they will forget about again in a couple of months. But
Helped turn the tide so much that inspired him in a few months. So it was really what a great turning of the tide.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, it was a good match, I thought. Do you like it?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, this was great. Bret was back in his element. Bret was feeling it. The crowd was to it. It was like really state-of-the-art wrestling for 1995. And these are the matches they should have been giving Bret Hart all the time, man. What a fucking great match. What a great start. It's refreshing after WrestleMania 11 and the atrocities we got to see. Of what just a great match in WWF again, and letting Bret Hart do his thing. He's getting this guy over.
Yeah.
So I had a blast. I thought it was really well done. A great opener. Probably one of the best pay-per-view openers in WWF history up to this point.
Yeah, good. I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Todd Pettengill, he is with the Hotline group. He's going to be there for throughout the show. They show Alundra Blaze, the women's wrestler. I guess I don't know if she's champion still, but they show Alundra Blaze and Sweet Dan Lane. They're on the phones making phone calls. When Jerry the King Lawler comes in and he goes, "I want Bret Hitman Hart right now. I want him right now." Right after his match, and then Todd's like, "Actually, Bret's coming here to the Hotline area right now," and Jerry the King Lawler goes, "Oh, never mind, I gotta go." And then they show you Stephanie Wyan, the other backstage interviewer. She comes out of the fake house and she goes, "Wow, this is a great house." I'm like, "But you came out of the fake house like setup. I know that's not the real house. Why are you pretending like that's the real house?" And they show you a video.
He's a little rough on this. He's a little rough.
Yeah, they show you the video of cop cars escorting all the entries, like all the people's sweepstake entries, like, and they show you it's there like in front of I guess the fake house area. It's like a fucking glass box with all the fucking entries. A lot of people did enter for this house. Did you?
No, I wasn't watching. How am I going to enter for this house?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. This is the period you're not watching. Forgot. Anyway, they get 123 Kid on the phone. 123 Kid is on the phone, and he's like, he's out due to injury, and he says he wishes he was there. It's really fucking annoying because the sound is so awful. And then they interview Razor Ramon, and they go, "Hey, Razor, you got a handicap match next. How do you feel about that? It's a handicap match." And he goes, "Doesn't matter. It's always been 2-against-1 since day one with Jeff Jarrett." And he goes, "Kid, I want you to heal up very soon." So we're going to go to our second match, the handicap match, Jeff Jarrett and Rhodey versus Razor Ramon. Jeff starts the match. Because remember, Rhodey and Jeff Jarrett, they still have to tag in and out. Jeff starts, but he powders early. And after a cheap shot from Rhodey, Razor Ramon starts getting beaten up. And Rhodey comes in, he beats on him, and he gyrates. He's doing the Jimmy Del Rey gyrating. And I'm guessing Jimmy Del Rey is out of his company by this point now. So
that's just what untalented Southern wrestlers do. That's how they greet one another.
And also, it's like when you see somebody who does something as soon as they leave, you can now do it. Like, so when Hakushi leaves, X-Pac can do the Bronco Buster.
The Bronco Buster, yeah.
When Jimmy Del Rey leaves, Rhodey can do his gyrating. I did like Rhodey's gyrating. I thought it was funny.
Well, he keeps gyrating even when he's the road dog.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this during this match, but there's a point in this match where Razor Ramon's getting beaten up on, and a fan on the hard cam side, he stands up and you see him trying to start a Razor chant. He goes, "Razor, Razor, Razor," and nobody joins him. Right? So he just quits. Right? That made me laugh so much. Anyway, Razor Ramon starts to come back, and then he hits the Razor's Edge on Jeff Jarrett to win. After the match, Razor Ramon setting up the Rhodey for a Razor's Edge as well, but he gets double teamed when Aldo Montoya comes in to make the saves. But then you know what happened? He just gets beaten up right away. But it's funny because when he was coming in, you know what the Rhodey was doing while Jeff Jarrett had Razor Ramon in the figure 4?
Yeah.
He was gyrating. He was gyrating.
That's what you do.
And then Aldo Montoya came in. But he gets beat up and he gets dumped out the ring right away, which I thought was kind of funny. And then Savio Vega gets in the ring, but nobody knows who he is. Even the commentators don't know his name. And he beats on both Jeff Jarrett and Rhodey. And then the refs and agents have to come break it up. And the cops come out and they escort Savio Vega out, almost as if like he was like a fan who ran in.
That's what the thing was. He was supposed to be a fan.
Yeah, and I think some people in the audience thought he really was a fan because you don't really see cops like that. So I thought that was
Well, Vince always wants to arrest the Puerto Ricans. So,
yeah. What did you think about this match?
It was good. It was still actually probably my least favorite match on the show. Having said that, it was still good and it served a purpose because it introduced Savio Vega. Savio.
Yeah,
to the WWF.
I agree with you. I think like the end part is pretty cool. It's Savio coming out. So yeah, So far, this is good stuff. It's like, hey, yeah, like things are
It served
making
the
sense.
purpose. You didn't really have a definitive winner or loser, but you did get Savio over. So I'll give it that.
Yeah, it served its purpose. It also made sense, right? Razor Ramon's getting beaten up on. The only thing that kind of didn't make sense too much was why did Aldo Montoya come out? If he was just gonna get beaten
I
out of
guess so. Like they like, oh no, Razor has no backup. They took out Aldo Montoya. So what's gonna happen? And then he comes out, and you're like, oh my god, who's this guy? You know, what I mean, like all hope. I think they want you to think all hope was lost. Like no one can help Razor. I think if he didn't come out, people would have been like, why doesn't Aldo Montoya come? I think they were like doing a thing where he was kind of friends with Razor.
Oh, they were already doing a storyline where Aldo Montoya was showing his allegiance to Razor a little bit.
Yeah, so I think they did it
Oh,
to be like, oh, that's it. Like Razor's fucked, and then oh, who's this new guy? Like, oh wow.
oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, because yeah, I didn't know that. All right, that makes sense. All right, we get a medieval King of the Ring promo because that's going to be the next WWF pay per view that's going to be coming up. And then we see Jerry the King Lawler arguing with President Jack Tunney about his match. He's like, I want the match right now. And Jack Tunney's like, no, man, you got to let Bret rest and stuff. And then we get a very, very awesome Psycho Sid package. It's really good. This is one of the
Yeah, it's
best
pretty good.
packages. And it's like, Sid just passed away. If I were you guys and you kind of want to know what Sid's like, it's worth going to this King of the Ring #1 from 1995 and just seeing the Sid package. It's very, very good.
I liked it a lot. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. Then Junior throws it to this guy named Barry Didinsky, who's selling a new Bret Hart shirt. I forgot about this guy. I remember seeing him. He was like the original Danny Deals guy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Danny Deals from the
Yeah,
NWA. Yeah,
yeah. Danny Deals, baby.
is Danny Deals the guy who's siphoning gas from the fans' cars in the parking lot? Okay.
I think Danny Deals is begging in the streets of Times Square. I think that's bad.
We're gonna go to match #3. It's a King of the Ring qualifying match. We got Mabel with Mo. There's no more rapping. There's no more dancing because these guys are heels now. Okay. There's no more Oscar. They're bad guys, and they're gonna be fighting Adam Bomb, and they're trying to get. You could tell by what Junior is saying, they're trying to get the phrase "the Bomb Squad" over because he keeps mentioning the Bomb Squad. He didn't call his fan base is called the Bomb Squad, and he just keeps saying
All
it
two of
over
his
and over
fans.
again. Yeah, over and over again. The Bomb Squad, the Bomb Squad. Um, Mo gets hit by Adam Bomb early, right before the match begins, which allows Mabel to get a sneak attack. And Adam Bomb mounts a little bit of a comeback, but then Mabel catches a Adam Bomb in a crossbody and then just power slams him for the win. Very quick match. It did Adam Bomb nothing.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
it was supposed to. I think it was supposed to get Mabel over. This is the start of the big Mabel push, which leads to
mhm.
the main event of SummerSlam. And I will say this, and this is a message for Tony Khan, and this is a message for WCW. Pushing Mabel. Do I think it was a good idea? No, I didn't think it was back then. I don't think it was now. But
Yeah,
if
I
you're
agree.
gonna do it, go all the way with it because that's what Vince did. He gave it a summer where he made this guy a threat. The guy didn't live up to his expectations and became Viscera, but at least they tried. And this match is we're fucking gonna try with you. We're not gonna fucking let it be a back and forth match. You're gonna fucking beat the shit out of Adam Bomb to let people know that you're a big deal now. And I'll give him that. I thought this match was fine. I didn't dislike it. It was a quick match, and it did what it had to do, which is let people know Mabel's a threat now. Don't fucking underestimate him.
Yeah, you're right. It did I didn't like it. I think it's the worst match, but you're right in the sense that it did what it was supposed to do. So I'll just leave it at that. You know,
Yeah, but
Jerry Lawler, he tries to interrupt the next match, but Jack Tunney, the president, comes out and he makes him go back. And we're gonna go right to our next match. It is for the tag titles. Smoking Guns versus the tag champions Yokozuna and Owen Hart would come out with Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji. And before this match, we do see Bret the Hitman Hart with an ice pack in the back with his on his leg. Yokozuna and Billy Gunn, they start the match, and when it moves to Bart Gunn and Owen Hart, Bart Gunn just manhandles Owen Hart, like just Owen just throwing Owen Hart around. Then
Mhm.
Billy Gunn, when he gets back in, he takes the majority of the heat. He just gets beat on. Then Bart Gunn tags back in, and once again, he is just beating the shit out of Owen Hart. Like Owen Hart, I don't know if he liked Bart Gunn a lot, but he just was taking bumps for Bart like crazy. Um,
Great. That was good. That's what you need to do.
yeah, the Guns. I don't know if you. I didn't really think much of them was a tag team when I was a kid, but now watching them now, they really had a lot of great tag team moves, which they showcase a lot here. They do a lot of great tandem tag team offense. However, there's a point where Bart Gunn he crossbodies out the. He tries to go for a crossbody, but he falls outside the ring, and when he's on the ground, Yokozuna just leg drops him on the floor, and then just rolls Bart back in, who gets covered by Owen Hart for the win. I like this match. What about you?
Yeah, I like this match a lot. This was way better than WrestleMania match. I mean, the problem with WrestleMania match is you go in there thinking like the Smoking Guns have no fucking chance, and they're like, oh, they're like all worried before they come out there. And this match though was way better. This match made the Smoking Guns look like they might have a fucking shot at actually winning. Yokozuna worked with them more. Owen Hart. It just seemed like everyone was more in sync with each other. And it was a very enjoyable match. I got a big kick out of this one.
Yeah, and I like how one leg drop from Yokozuna will kill you. I like
Yes.
that. Like he don't even need to do the bonsai drop. He's so big that a leg drop will fucking kill you. And that's the way it should be now. Like when you have
Bronson Reed, for example.
yeah, or like my favorite, Odyssey Jones. When Odyssey
Oh, he
Jones
got fired. He got fired.
I yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
when
no.
he's
Well, you know what would happen now? You know what would happen now? Yokozuna would drop that leg on Will Ospreay. You'd kick out of one. Or
yeah, no,
Swerve
that's
would just
exactly
stand
what's
right
gonna
back up.
happen now. That is exactly what would happen now, which I fucking hate. I hate shit like that. It's like, no, he's humongous. He hits you, you're dead. You're gone. It's over. And that's the way it
Well, I
should be.
swerve when I drive.
Yeah, yeah,
Someone
exactly.
kick out.
Someone shouldn't be driving. He should be fucking dead after taking a hit like that. But they don't do shit like that anymore. But I like this.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. So top Gale, he is with Diesel in the back. And remember, it's Mother's Day. So they start
Mm-hmm.
talking. Diesel goes, he actually lost his mother right after Christmas last year. So this is the first Mother's Day that I'm having without a mom. Dude, let me tell you, I felt so bad for him when he was saying this. I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Then they
Yeah,
changed the
I did. I felt bad too. I forgot he lost his mom right after he won the belt, which that's rough.
Yeah, that's really sad. And when he was saying this, he didn't sound happy. He sounded like, yeah, he was like this. Like, it was. I think he realized, like, yeah, this is my first Mother's Day without a mom.
Yeah,
And
and no one cares about this my title reign.
yeah, I felt bad for him until they changed the subject to Sid and Shawn Michaels, and Diesel starts doing this fucking promo that's horrendous, like, oh, I'm not happy what Sid did to Shawn Michaels, but you know what? And he starts smiling, like, I'm like, what is Diesel doing? I don't understand his character. Like, I just don't understand what the fuck's going on with these promos.
Well, when he was talking about his mom, he was himself, and as himself, he's a very likable guy. But then he goes to Vince's vision of a baby face, which is all goofy and happy. I did think this was my favorite Diesel promo so far of his face run. And that's not saying much, I will tell you that, but I did think it was better than what we've seen. But the mother stuff was good. I think that was a good way to make him human without like ruining his mystique. I thought that was pretty good. The fact that they went there. So
Yeah, it was. You're right. That stupid smiling thing. I agree with you. It's probably like it sounds like a totally Vince thing. Like, hey, you're a cheesy heel now. You gotta smile and shit like that. Like it just was stupid. And it seemed so forced. It didn't seem like him.
yeah, it doesn't. It's not him, and it's what Vince thinks a babyface should be, and it's not him. He can be. I think he could have been a huge babyface. They let him just be Kevin Nash.
I think so too. I think you're right. If he was just Kevin Nash, he would have gotten over a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry Lawler, he is in the ring with his mom, uh, and it's a sexy young lady, the kind Jerry Lawler. She might have been too old for Jerry Lawler, actually.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, that's what. Listen, any woman over 25, he considers to be like an old maid. So
yeah. He likes them real young. If you don't believe me, look it up, guys. It's
hey,
disturbingly
Danny, let
young.
me tell you something.
Yeah, he likes them disturbingly young. Um, Jerry, so he's in the ring with this old woman, this old bag of a woman, and his mom goes, "I want you to beat Bret Hart for Mother's Day," and then after that, she wants to get in the ring with Bret Hart's mom, Helen, and she wants to beat her up too. And then Todd Pettengill, he is with Bret Hart, and Bret Hart, and he asks Bret about his leg, and then Bret goes, "My leg, it's actually very fine," and he does a little dance showing that he was
It was all
lying.
work, brother.
It was all work. He was lying this whole time, and it's going to go to match number 5: Jerry Lawler versus Bret Hart. And Bret Hart just walks out to the ring, and Lawler sees that he's not injured, and Lawler gets scared. Bret gets in there, and he starts beating up on Jerry Lawler early, and just beating on him. He even takes a pile driver from like Jerry Lawler, and he no sells the fucking pile driver. He just gets up and keeps beating on him until Shinja shows up, and Earl Hebner gets on the apron to get him out of the ring. Get out of the ring, and Jerry Lawler uh, hits the Bret Hart basically Irish whips Jerry Lawler into the ropes, and when he hits the ropes, it sends Earl Hebner out the. Remember, Earl Hebner's on the apron. He gets hit with the ropes, and he falls out, and his leg gets tied up on the ropes on like a hangman noose, and he's hanging upside down, which you don't really see a lot of referees take a bump like that. I don't think I've ever seen a referee take a bump like that, actually.
No, that was pretty crazy bump.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy bump by Earl. And then, but while he's out, Hakushi does like a flying attack off the top turnbuckle on Bret Hart. And he does it again, but the second time he's doing that, Earl Hebner is like now already back in the ring, and Earl has to pretend like he didn't see it. And then like Jerry King Lawler, jackknife covers Bret Hart for the win. Afterwards, they try to attack Bret some more, but Bret Hart gets back up and he punches out Shinya. I didn't like this match either, but it did what it was supposed to do, and it was a cool ref bump, so I will allow it. What about
I
you?
thought I liked it. I thought it was. I mean, the match itself wasn't that great because Jerry Lawler wasn't that great, but I thought the humor was funny with the mom. I thought the mom thing was funny. Michael Hayes' commentary was pretty funny, and it did what it had to do at the end, which was even though Bret Hart had a great look, they let Bret Hart have a great match, and then he continued his saga with Jerry Lawler. And you know what? It's about time that they didn't really conclude that storyline back in the day. It's time to finish it off. So I'm glad now they're finally going to continue it and finish it off. But I thought
Didn't
Jerry
even
Lawler was
finish
pretty
it off.
funny with the promo with the mom.
Yeah, but they didn't even finish it off.
Well, it's going to be finished off next month, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is setting. This is continuous story and setting it up and stuff, and like now we're going back to it, and we're going to have a conclusion because they do have a conclusion next at the King of the Ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So getting back to this, we have a close up of Sid who cuts a promo and he says, "Time has run out, and Diesel will meet the ruler of the world." Another great promo by Sid. It's just like, you know why? Remember I told you when I was younger, I actually thought, like, I knew wrestling wasn't real, but I actually thought Sid might be a little bit crazy. And the reason why I thought so was the amount of blinking he was doing. Right?
Yeah.
Like that little extra thing where he's blinking a lot made me think like I thought like there was something kind of wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, he does little things that make you think like, oh, this guy's like a crazy person.
yeah. And I was like, that's what it is. He does this really crazy blinking thing I really like. So Top Pettengill and Stephanie Wyatt, they show the house on the Tron at Hunter's Creek, which is right next to a golf course. And they get some rakes to, I guess, stir up some of the fucking entries. And then Stephanie gets in there and picks a letter. And she goes, "Oh, we gotta get this letter verified." And the fucking verification process takes like 2 seconds. The guy looks at it, goes, "It's verified." Like it was stupid. And they call Matt Pompacelli, who won, and down the phone, and they scream for joy. This supposedly was like a legit, like regular
Yeah,
person.
they interviewed him on the WWE website. He sold the house and paid for his college with it.
Yes, yes. When their family was living, he was a kid. It was a kid who entered. He won it, but the family was living in like Las Vegas, Nevada. So they just sold the house. And he got like a good six figures out of it, and
Yeah.
basically lived off it. But he got to visit the house or something like that, supposedly, and like the bushwhackers were there. So it was a cool
Oh, that's
experience.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, this was a cool statement because it was real and you could feel the realness and you could feel the family's excitement. They didn't really like shake up those envelopes too much. I mean, like, you know what I
no,
mean?
they really didn't, and
Yeah.
it was
If I
also
entered, I would have been like, that's bullshit. But
yeah. I still can't believe he fucking they gave away a house. To me, it's
look,
crazy. Like
well, Tony Khan should give away a house. Maybe people actually tune in. He should give away a house every week. Oh,
he
here's another
could,
house.
he should, he 100% should. I agree. He should give away a house every
No,
year.
I thought this was knowing because I know because the kid has been interviewed on WWE.com, and then I think Conrad and Bruce talked about him because I think Conrad and Bruce met him at a live show. Knowing that this kid like this really helped the kid's life out, hearing the family reaction, it's kind of fun because like this is real. Like in all this other fake bullshit, this is real, and it really helped these people's lives out. So the new generation era is good for something.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So we're gonna go to our final match. This is a six match in your house. The first one, it is for the WWF title. We got Sid with Ted DiBiase, his new manager, versus Diesel, the champion. When they're doing a face off, Diesel mocks Sid's blinking. He starts blinking off. I thought that was kind of funny. That's the kind of Diesel thing. Like he's like super sarcastic. He's such an asshole, you know?
Yeah, that's the Sid. That's the Sid we need, brother.
Yeah. And Diesel gets the best of Sid early on until DiBiase distracts for Sid to attack Diesel from behind. Um, Sid has a busted lip, and he keeps licking it throughout the rest of this match, which just adds to him being just kind of weird, drinking his own blood. Basically, it's basically a big man, slow power offense. Both guys are humongous, right? Diesel's big, Sid's big, and they're doing just like slow big man offense, like with a long like camel clutch, the one-handed choke slam that Sid does. But I don't mind it because it's like two big guys. Like I like that shit. I don't know, it just
Yeah, no, totally.
works.
I was enjoying the shit of this match. To me, I felt like Sid was doing what Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels weren't doing, is actually getting this guy over.
Yeah, but like if you're a big guy, you don't need to be doing flips and shit like that.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like you got to be doing this big man shit. And Sid power bombs Diesel, but he gloats. So then when he goes for the cover, Diesel kicks out of it, which was also a good little nice little touch, right? It's like, oh, the
Mm-hmm.
reason why he kicked out of a power bomb is because Sid didn't cover him right away. Diesel fights back and then he hits a power bomb on Sid, but then Tatanka attacks for the DQ. Bam Bam Bigelow runs in to help save, and he tosses the Tatanka out to a big pop. Before we get to the real ending, what did you think about this match?
I thought it was good. I liked seeing these two go head to head. I expected a lot worse, and I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I didn't mind these two going head to head. It was fun. I didn't like the DQ ending so much, but I get why they did it because what are you gonna do? You're gonna have Diesel lose, or you're gonna have Sid lose, right?
Exactly. You just got Sid there, and you don't want Diesel to lose the belt and so soon, and you got to continue the story. So I thought it was good, and you're setting up Bam Bam for his face run, which is nice.
Yeah, and I like this whole big man versus big man thing. Like I love that visual.
Mm-hmm.
It does a lot. So the show ends with Vince McMahon Jr. saying, "In your house was out of this world," and then we get this weird like sketch of two aliens talking about how bad the Earth is. Earth is like filled with pollution and war. Everything is bad about Earth except for WWF, and they decide to because of WWF we're gonna spare the world, and it
Well,
ends with
yeah,
WWF save the world. So stupid. I was like, why are they ending with?
I remember this commercial. I think they aired it on like regular TV even and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's such a like. I think it was funny that they ended the show with that. It was
It's a
really
very Vince commercial.
yeah. It's not a
It's
bad
very like,
commercial. I'd say it's bad, but it's just
but yeah.
funny how.
But look, all in all, I've been very critical of this era of WWE. I probably will be again when we get to King of the Ring and all these other shows. I enjoyed this show. It's only an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it. But if you're looking for a fun, like, 90s show to watch on Peacock, I recommend In Your House 1.
Yeah. In Your House 1, very easy to watch. 100% would agree. You got people to I recommend it.
I recommend it. All right, now we're going to go over the next 4 weeks. In a week, we have Slamboree 95, which is Vader and Flair versus the Mega Powers. In 2 weeks, Great American Bash 95, which is Flair versus Macho Man. In 3 weeks, King of the Ring 95, which is Diesel and Bam Bam versus Sid and Tatanka. Then in 4 weeks, Bash at the Beach 95, which is Hogan and Vader in the steel cage. They will be syringes. There will be a lot of stuff. So you excited?
Yeah, absolutely. What about you?
I'm excited for a few of them. All right, guys, that's the podcast. I'm excited for. I heard Great American Bash main event is good, so that's the show. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy, Ray Goots, Andrew Son of Lee, and leave a review. All right, guys, we'll see you next week for Slamboree, Daddy 95. See you then.